able to rewatch it if you need to. But to get over these challenges, something has to be muted.
Hey, well, I can hear you now.
There it is. So Lorena, go over to YouTube. I see you over there.
You're gonna use YouTube?
I mean, yeah, everybody could go on YouTube and everything and see it.
All right.
So I got Caron Marcelous. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Just a brief history. Let's go back since it's a Throwback Thursday. Caron is the man, the music exec, who actually threw me on to a John Otto project. John Otto, he was a drummer, right?
Yep, drummer.
For a very famous group called Limp Bizkit. Yeah, everybody knows Fred Durst and everything, but you hear John Otto's name, and it's like, oh, okay. And he put me onto a project, and that is the third time that I didn't sleep for 3 days doing the project. I remember being in the studio, and it was in Jacksonville at that. But I remember being in the studio playing a video game that they had. And I think it was IGN or something like that. I'm going in, and I was addicted to that game, Coca-Cola, and doing the beats. And we would switch on and off, me and Ab and Mr.
Abnormal. That's
Yep.
right. That's right.
And,
you know what I'm saying? The connecting link was the Vietnam Eric Savitt. The connection.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? The legend. That was my mentor.
That's right. He's everybody's mentor.
Yeah, I know,
Mine
right?
too. Yeah. And we had a good time doing that, even though I didn't sleep. Like 3 days straight up. The last day they said, yeah, just go home and get some rest. And I woke up and I thought it was like a month later or something like that. I thought I was like in a coma.
Yeah, what's crazy is I'm using the hashtag only billionaires get sleep because that's how it is in the entrepreneur, lane. You got to always be working. There's no sleep, man. That's for the guys that got a whole bunch of money, that generational wealth stuff. We're trying to get it.
That's right. So listen, this is what everybody wants to know. So I've seen you. I've been watching your posts.
Right.
You're in California now, in the Bay Area. I've seen you in Dubai. I've seen you riding camels in Egypt. And there was another place that I saw you too. I'm thinking Giza, but Giza is Egypt. Right. So riding camelbacks. And this is the question that everyone wants to know, and this is a serious question. They want to know, with all that traveling you're doing, how in the world are you keeping your Jordans so clean? How is it? You don't have to give up trade secrets, but you got the cleanest Jordans in the world. You kicking around sand. You got camel hair on you. What? How you doing it?
Very, very, very carefully, man. You know what I'm saying? And I try to have a couple pairs, just make sure,
Oh, you switch it out. But for real, man.
That's not the question I was waiting for. I was expecting something else.
I know. But you know me. If you know my personality, it's always going to start off with something.
Yeah, funny. No doubt. From left field, no doubt. I can take it, though.
But, man, catch us up. Tell us what you're doing, man. What are you doing out there?
When I leave the country or when I'm in California? I've been in California, in and out of California for the last 12 years.
Okay. Let's start with California.
Okay. All right. California is basically the gold rush, or should I say the green rush, for the medicinal cannabis movement. Okay. So I have been entering in owning retail licenses here in California. So that's been my focus.
Right.
And also just trying to get a real good handle on everything that is cannabis, from all the licenses, from cultivation to manufacturing, which both has, volatile and non-volatile, and then both retail licenses, distribution. It's a pretty interesting situation going on out here in California.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that? Is that what you've been doing for the last 12 years?
Yeah. I mean, you know, the truth is that I've had a love-hate relationship with cannabis my entire life. I mean, I've been medicating on it. I've been, someone that has used it for creative purposes throughout my whole life. So as I've gotten a little bit older and I saw the opportunity, especially in California, California's been legal since I believe 94 or was it 96? So we're
Right.
talking about a long time on the medical side. And then here recently going recreational in 2018, I just started realizing that there was an opportunity for some generational wealth. We missed out on the dot-com boom. Most black and brown people don't have an opportunity to acquire real estate. It's just very difficult. It takes a lot of capital to do so.
Right.
So cannabis seemed like the next logical move for me and my family.
Okay. So out of that, what's the big picture? I see a lot of talk about black smoke, white ash, and then I see true deliveries.
Right.
So the cannabis is which one?
True Deliveries is the cannabis company. That is actually our delivery company. We're actually launching it next month 4/20.
Okay.
We also have a dispensary that just launched here in Oakland. It's called Rosemary Dispensaries. So that launched about a month ago.
Hmm.
So retail stores will be up and running. And then to kind of segue into Black Smoke, White Ash, it's really just a television show. It's a reality-based television show about our journey as Black entrepreneurs as
Right.
we travel down this road of entrepreneurship and business ownership and the trials and tribulations of the things that we encounter along the way.
Wow. Wow. Tell us a little bit more about black smoke, white ash. Like what's the big picture plan for that?
Well, okay. The reality of this. As I became more and more entwined of the legal side of cannabis, I realized that there wasn't any black and brown people um,
Mhm.
that were in the ownership capacity. So the show is targeted at inspiring other black people and brown people to get involved with cannabis. It's basically showing the inside view. This is one of the rare times that you're going to be able to get the game, as I can say it, in any way, shape, or form that it's going to show you. And I'm just giving you all the information. We're going to tell you everything and tell you how we did it. And the purpose of that is to inspire other people to get involved with this industry
Right.
because cannabis is doing right now, it's doing $26 billion in the United States.
Wow.
And black and brown people, we only make up a really small percentage of the ownership group. And I'm talking about less than 5%.
Right.
While we are actually doing more than 60% of the time of people that are incarcerated for cannabis related offenses. So there's a huge disparity there. We
Hmm.
deserve to reap some of the benefits of cannabis.
Right.
It's a multi-billion-dollar corporate industry,
Hmm.
and people that don't look like us are benefiting from it, while we're the ones that are incarcerated for crimes and everything else associated with cannabis.
So that's an interesting point you're saying about people who are incarcerated because of distributing cannabis,
Right.
but now the government and local and federal level are making it legal in some states. So how's that? How do you see that actually playing out for those people who are actually incarcerated?
Well, it's a huge gray area. There federally, it's not legal. That's
Okay.
that's the gray area. It's
Okay.
a state regulated situation. Each state has their own regulations and and what have you associated with cannabis run businesses, compliances, and stuff like that.
Right.
And we are moving towards full legalization because I believe we're in 38 states medically, and I think it's 18 states recreationally, if not a
Right.
little bit less than that.
Hmm.
And I kind of believe that here in the next presidential election, we're probably going to have somebody run on that, uh,
Okay.
on that agenda.
Really?
Well, because there's billions of dollars that the federal government is not making in the taxation.
Right.
It's just too much money. And then we've proven, how it works. We've proven that it can be a lucrative business, and we've proven that the medical benefits of it. So
Right.
there's no reason for the federal government to continue to classify cannabis as a Schedule One drug. It
Right.
just doesn't make any sense, especially when there's so many people making money off of it.
Right. It sounds like you could be a lobbyist for it, man. It sounds like you could sit in front of the senators and actually talk more about it.
But
Is
that's
that
part of what
something
the
that you
show's
would do?
about. You know, that you asked what the show's about. The show is it's an entrepreneurial show. It's giving people an inside view of how we do things in the cannabis industry. It's
Okay.
also an opportunity to see cannabis, how it's been done all over the world, because we're going to show you, we're going to go to Amsterdam, we're going to go to Portugal, we're going to go to places where cannabis is either turning legal or has a foothold there. And we're going to show you how industry is there. And we're going to introduce you to all of the people that are doing cannabis, all the celebrities that are doing cannabis, all the supporters on the political side that are, backing the agenda for cannabis. So that's kind of the show. The show, it kind of takes you down that journey of everything that is cannabis
Right.
from a Black point of view, of course.
Right. So there's some inspiration there, right?
Yeah.
And you when I hear you talk about it, I get excited because I feel you're getting excited about it too. So how can other people actually, really get involved at this level before the show actually releases? Like how can they start engaging?
Um, it's funny that you say that, because we're always a little bit behind the eight ball, or a little bit behind everything before it's actually happening. As far as because Black and brown people. So it's obviously going to be a little more complicated. But here in Oakland, they have a program called the Equity Program,
Hmm.
and that program is basically for leveling the playing field a little bit. It's an opportunity for disadvantaged, for people that live in certain areas, or people that have been affected by the war on drugs, to have basically a pass of getting into the cannabis industry. So the first thing I say for wherever you are is to look into finding out what your state or city has in regards to a cannabis equity cannabis program.
Mm.
The first one is here in Oakland, but they're doing it all over the United States. They're actually even doing it in New Jersey. Jersey and New York just passed here recently. And
Okay.
they have an equity program in Jersey. They have an equity program in Georgia, and a lot of places. But they're not just giving this information out. Okay, you're gonna
Right.
need to seek it out. You're gonna need to look into it and do the research and find out. And then the key is for all of us to try to acquire these licenses, no matter how many you can acquire, and it doesn't matter what kind of license you require, because they're all going to be extremely valuable in the near future when federal legalization comes through.
Right. So what about Florida? How's because I've seen some dispensaries around this area.
Right.
So what's going on with Florida that you know of?
Florida is in the middle of some litigation because
Hmm.
Florida is attaching real estate to the cannabis licenses, and they're requiring every person to be vertically integrated in order to have one. So what that means is, if you don't have incredible resources to have a piece of property and land, and then have the resources to acquire all the licenses all at one time, then you're not going to be able to have a shot. So what that means is Black and brown people don't get a chance in Florida. So we are in the process now of thinking how we can work towards changing those, changing some of the rules in Florida, how that goes. It's just, you know, it's always going to be an uphill battle and struggle, no matter what it is.
Right.
This is just the only thing that I can tell you right now that you can invest in, and that is going to reap real benefits for you, short and long term.
So give me like an idea, like a dollar figure of what it would take, just for maybe like let's take Oakland, let's take California. Like
Sure.
what's a dollar figure for like a startup just to get a ballpark? It don't have to be exact.
Okay. Well, each license is going to be a little bit different. The easiest license to acquire is probably going to be a real estate. It's going to be a delivery license. Now, keep in mind, even in Oakland, the real estate is attached to the licenses too.
Okay.
So you have to have a building in order to have the license. So it's not going to be cheap. Real estate in California is just really, really expensive.
Yeah.
California is expensive just in general.
They're all
So
moving here.
California is probably not the best example
Right.
for a startup for cannabis because it can be expensive.
Yeah.
But you're going to need $500,000 to start a retail store here in California. I would
Mhm.
estimate that.
Mhm.
And then you could probably do a distribution center for significantly less. Let's say about 250,000. You can do
Right.
a distribution center. Now it gets more expensive when you start doing in cultivation because it just is such a specialized license requiring lights and all kinds of resources as far as products and all kinds of different things for cultivation. So it can be really expensive. You're looking at $1 million to start a real good cultivation room.
So if California is not a prime example, so when switching over to a place like Florida, so are those numbers like doubled or maybe tripled, or you just need a lot of money just to get it going, like
It's
other
it's
than the real estate, the brick and mortar?
Yeah, it's not going to be cheap. It doesn't matter. But there is a lot of services and there's a lot of money that states are putting into the development of some of these programs. For
Mhm.
instance, California is dumping in, I think, $20 million this year
Wow.
for cannabis support. So it's grants and like low interest loans and stuff like that because we can't get the money traditionally. We
Mhm.
can't borrow it from banks because, obviously, if they're federally insured banks, they're not going to loan us money for illicit industries. And
Right.
as of right now, it's still considered an illicit industry because, it's not federally recognized.
Right.
So it makes it very difficult to get lenders. It makes it very difficult to, even with banking. Banking is extremely difficult. We have to use private banks.
Mhm.
Um, so, it gets a little complicated, but not
Right.
impossible.
Right. Just got to know what you're doing. And what about let's say at the top, governors and mayors, well, governors, because they're going to pretty much try to either be for it or be against it. And how do you see a state like Florida being for something like that with the leadership that we have in place now?
I mean, I don't want to get into politics because
I know
I don't know who's watching. Everybody. There's some people are
you got a red
Republican
hat. You got
people,
a red hat on, dude.
but the reality of it is that the bottom line rules the day. Okay,
Right.
it's all
Okay.
about money, and it is inevitable that Florida is going recreational. It's
Mhm.
inevitable. They wouldn't have went medical without the thought process of at some point going recreational. So once that happens, they have no choice but to open up the opportunities for more people, to open up more stores in order to service the people that are there. Um, Cannabis is, for instance, the products, they need to be grown in certain type of temperatures in order to have, the best products. So it has to be regulated. So you can't grow outdoors in Florida.
Right.
So that means in order to supply and demand in Florida, they're either going to have to grow more of it or be able to get the products from other places. So with federal legalization right around the corner, it's just going to open wide up for everybody.
Wow.
Definitely.
Wow. So the future is looking bright for cannabis, basically.
It's listen, Mark, cannabis is doing $180 billion worldwide.
Wow.
Worldwide. Okay.
Wow.
Like I need you to understand that this isn't just the United States that cannabis is going crazy in.
Right.
It's being passed. Africa has about 6 or 7 different countries that just went medical. Okay, Africa is on its way towards going medical. South America, Colombia is importing and exporting cannabis out of Colombia. They
Mm.
literally service all of Canada with all of the Colombian weed that's grown there.
Right.
Brazil is turning. I think Panama just turned.
Mm.
I mean, you wouldn't believe it or not, but Israel is one of the biggest cannabis supporters in all of Europe, and Portugal is growing almost all of the medical cannabis for all of the Europe. And
Wow.
believe it or not, China has the biggest CBD market in the entire world, doing almost $80 billion in just CBD products in China.
Wow.
Exactly. So right now, all this is happening without United States market being able to participate in the world, because we're
Wow.
federally illegal, so we can't import and export out of our country.
Right.
So, this is the next, big thing. It really truly is, and, I keep trying to explain this to people that, you need to get a piece of this pie,
Right.
because the next wave of opportunity is coming up here real soon, real soon.
So once again, the United States has to catch up to the rest of the world when it comes to something like this.
Well,
And
when it comes to sharing and import, export,
right.
we're always behind the curve on stuff like that. But then
Yeah.
again, we're leading the trend on everything too. It's kind of a catch-22.
Right. So here's a funny question.
Yeah,
So not a funny, but I recently just went down to Fort Lauderdale, right? And this is right at the beginning of spring break.
right.
And I smell it in the air. Now, and I'm being truly this is a serious question, but it's like a funny question. I smell it, but is there a difference in the smell coming from street bought to store bought? Is there a difference at all?
Um, no, because technically it's all the same plant. The process for the stuff that's grown inside the store is just going to be regulated. So therefore, we're going to test it for mold and spider mites and all
Mm,
the things that make you sick. But
right.
it's still technically the same weed. The thing that gives it taste and smell is something called terpenes. So, those are the things that actually kind of dictate those products, those aspects of the plant. And so there's those. That's the science part of it, the horticulture part.
Okay. So it's not going to be weighted down with chemicals like cigarettes and stuff like that, with all that stuff that's in cigarettes.
Well, the stuff you're getting on the streets that is not bought in the store, it's not as healthy as the stuff that you're buying in the stores for sure. And yes, it's going to have all kinds of chemicals in it. It could have been grown outdoors. It's not best to smoke stuff that's on the streets, but I understand. Not everybody has access to the retail stores, and then the taxes on some of the products are just tremendous. It's ridiculous. It might be 30-something% out here in California,
Right.
32%, I think.
So that brings up another question, So if you are caught smoking, are you going to have to whip out a license saying, "Hey, I'm clear, don't worry about me. I'm just going to enjoy myself right now"? Is that
And
what's going to happen?
in California, it's recreational,
Hmm.
so um, they really don't really hassle anybody. They got bigger fish to fry here.
Right. Yeah. They
so
should. Yeah.
So like they're not gonna really give you too much of a hassle here. If they catch you smoking, unless you're underage and they can tell you're underage, and you just blatantly just smoking like in a place that you really shouldn't be smoking. But for the most part, they're not really messing with you. This thing's
Right.
been going on for 30 years here now, and then the subculture's been going on even longer than that. So they're desensitized to cannabis. But now go to Jacksonville, Florida, and walk down the street smoking and see what happens to you.
Yeah. Clink,
And that's a
clink.
whole other scenario.
Yeah. I remember. So I'm from New Jersey, and as an adult, I go over to New York and everything, and my mom already knows. I used to sneak out of the house and everything, go to the big city, right? And we went through Washington Square Park, and that was actually my first interaction with weed. Not that I smoked it, but I smelled it, and people were just walking around the park casually, openly smoking it. And I was like one of those kids who saw your brother do something bad. I was like, oh, what? I was looking like that, and I didn't know. But what I learned years later, especially because Mr. Sadler's studio wasn't too far from there,
Mm,
the cops didn't bother anybody if you stayed in that park. Like you
right,
said, you have bigger fish to fry, you know?
right.
So New York, yeah. That was a crazy thing. What's your favorite part about what you do? What's your favorite aspect of it?
Um, Man, I'm free, bro. To be honest
Mm,
with you, you know what I'm saying, and I'm cycling real high right now. Like, I'm creating, I'm literally manifesting things into reality. With this business that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm opening up opportunities for other people, and I'm changing the world as I'm doing it. It sounds cliche, but it's real, because I'm one of like 65 Black people in the entire world that own a retail store, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
man, the numbers are astronomical as far as what we're doing over here. So we're doing real big work over here. It's not
Right.
just, trying to, line our pockets or whatever. You're blazing like trails and stuff for other cats to follow. And we're doing the hard work. We're learning all the mistakes, and we're going to show you how to not make the same mistakes. And, the more successful we become, the more that we can invest in other people's opportunities and other people's futures. So,
Right.
that's the best thing about it. I wake up every day. It's a challenge. And I don't know how many of y'all are entrepreneurs. There's no check waiting for me. I got to create it. You know what I'm saying? So it's pressure, but it's the right type of pressure, man. And I want to inspire other young brothers to know that they can, have their own thing and do their own thing. And they ain't got to be in sports, and they ain't got to be, a rapper. You can be a businessman too. You know what I'm saying? And you can travel the world, and you can change people's lives and touch things and stuff without, worrying about what they try to tell you got to be, So,
Right.
and when I grew up as a kid, that was the only way to get rich as a Black person was, be an athlete or, be an entertainer. And I tried to be an athlete. I wasn't quite fast enough.
Right.
I
What did
tried
you
to
do?
be an entertainer too. You know
I
what I
didn't
mean?
know
I did
that.
a few things and
I didn't
made a
know
couple of things happen. But there's a life. There's a shelf life to that game.
that. Yeah.
Shelf life, man. There ain't no shelf life. There's no ceiling on entrepreneurship, man.
Right.
There's no ceiling on it, man. We're
Right.
living in an age right now. People are making worth $200 billion. I mean, it's nuts.
Right.
I mean, we just this hat right here, Jay-Z, drug dealer from the streets, is worth $1 billion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
anything's possible. So that's kind of what we're doing right now, man. We blazing the trails right now.
Yeah.
So
I was talking to a guy, actually, I think he was from London,
yeah,
and he was talking about how pricing and stuff like that is happening over there with gas prices too. And he's saying that, it's just like, when the creeks rise, everything rises, whatever the pricing is and all that other stuff is just happening.
yeah,
And I was trying to encourage him to get into something that's gonna, either, make him a little bit more than what he's making now,
yeah.
or, something that'll bring him something that's residual. So I'm a big proponent on residual income. And I think he got the message, because all the scientists are saying, like, right now, today is the best time to actually be living, because there is virtually, you could do anything right now,
Pretty
just
much.
about anything. And with technology advancing so much and so quickly, who knows, somebody may be right around the corner from, like a Star Trek, where you can actually teleport people. Actually, they actually did that years ago.
Yeah,
So teleportation is actually possible now, but it's only dust particles that you can actually teleport, not
right.
human tissue or anything. But you it seems like you're making an impact, but it's not just from, your skin color, but it's more of, to me, it feels like more of a mentality, a mindset. So tell me a little bit more about how you're actually impacting this industry right now.
You know, it is a mindset. What it's funny. I had this conversation earlier. And what we're creating is a brand, actually,
Mm.
a brand that is attached to retail stores. The brand is what has real legs and real strength. I mean, Coca-Cola is a brand. Pepsi is a brand. Ford is a brand.
Mm.
Ford makes cars. Coke makes sodas. That's what's your real staying power. It's your legacy. So
Right.
I'm contributing that to an industry that has no real direction,
Hmm.
and it's ever changing from day to day, because the laws are changing and people that are involved are trying to make it even more difficult for people like us to be involved.
Right.
And so that's the primary focus for us and the people that are involved with me and my circle. Is just trying to stay focused on the evolution of the mentality that's surrounding cannabis and normalizing it, normalizing its usage, normalizing the conversation about it, the medical aspects of it, and even the recreational aspects of it. It's definitely, it's more good than bad.
Right.
Definitely more good than bad.
Right. A lot of times, a lot of people get into a business and they think they have to do things on your own. Do you have partners that you actually work with and just to get things done?
I wouldn't be here without my partners. This is a family business first. And
Hmm.
it's important that I want to say that. I had to convince my mother to help me get the licenses because my mother, she's the one that qualifies for the equity program. The only way you're getting in this business right now is through this equity program I've been telling you about, because it's first, it costs too much, and second, it's just too much politics and red tape around it as far as
Right.
being able to get into it. Okay. And so the equity program is the way in for most of us. And the partnership I have in the dispensary is it's an equity partnership where we own 50% of that license, and then we've partnered up with a major corporation on the other side of that license. So
Right.
it's the benefits of being able to get a license means you're just going to open up opportunities for you and your family. So I had to convince my mother that this was the right move for our family, and we're starting to see the benefits of it. Oh, shit.
Getting a call.
No, my battery is getting low. Hold on.
Oh,
Let me plug in. All right, I'm back.
okay. So partnerships, your mom had to, help you get the because she's qualified, but what makes her qualified again?
She lives in a certain demographic. You have to live in a certain neighborhood,
Okay.
and it's usually the neighborhoods that are affected by the war on drugs primarily, or
Right.
you had to been convicted of a cannabis-related offense after the year of 1996 here in Alameda County. And then they have some income requirements that are kind of built in too. So it's but and I've had I got my homeboy here, my boy that he came. He was actually stationed. He was working in Dubai, and he was just doing amazing things over there. I had to convince him to come help me because this is something. I'm a marketing guy.
Right.
I'm a music business guy. I don't
Right.
understand. I haven't really opened a retail store before.
Hmm.
I've had a little bit of retail experience as a kid, but nothing major. So I have enough sense to know how to put a few people around me with a little bit more sense than me and different things. So just been trying to streamline that. It takes a lot of we need to hire good lawyers, accountants, all of that, because all the regulations and taxes around cannabis are just tremendous.
Right. I put my glasses on, man, because I can't really see anymore. I don't know what's going on with my eyesight, so I gotta wear these things. But back up. I want to back up.
Okay.
You said I'm free.
Yep.
And before tonight, I was thinking about that question. I was
Right.
going to say, are you free? And I knew the answer was going to be yes.
Right.
But I want to unpack that a little bit more. What
Right.
is free versus, like, have you ever been chained or caged? Like, walk me through the real difference that people don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay. True freedom is financial freedom, spiritual freedom,
Mm,
um, you know, being able to be honest with yourself
mm-hmm,
and being able to have those real strong, real tough self-evaluation conversations with yourself.
mm-hmm,
That's freedom, and that's what we're pushing for, to not be debt free. To be debt free, and to have a real good center on what it is that you're trying to put out there in the world.
right,
So I think that is the basis of it, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't work for anyone, but like I said, the pressure is always there.
right,
But I wouldn't change it for anything, because I believe that that's how you really can be free, to
right,
have the opportunity to create your own destiny, manifest things into reality. So that's my idea of freedom.
So with that freedom, in order to stay free, you have to develop certain disciplines.
It's true.
Tell me about your disciplines. Like,
Well,
I don't want to know your step by step where you're going to be at 9 o'clock or anything like that. But what are your disciplines? There's some, I know there's something that you would have to do maybe every day. Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that.
you know, the main thing I say out of all of this is to stay focused on what it is that you're trying to accomplish, right?
Mm,
And being clear on what that is. So I constantly have to remind myself. I do that daily. Is I
mhm,
remind myself every day what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And once I realized that I was doing it for other people, it became a hell of a lot easier
mm,
because I've been a real selfish person for many years
right.
because I've been on this path of, okay, well, I need to get myself somewhere because I knew that the world that I lived in, the only thing that people respected is people that lived the house on the hill and drove the Mercedes Benz or whatever. But I can tell you the truth, and you're not willing to hear it because you don't know anything of who I am. So I felt like I was on a mission, and I felt like I needed to become somebody, right, in
Mm,
order to have something that I could say something to be more profound. But what I realized now is that that's all kind of a personal journey. And once you find yourself and figure out what it is you're doing, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to get up every day and work towards that goal. And I know now, especially that, a lot of the things and the work that I'm doing, I'm not going to reap all the benefits from it. It's going to be other people that are going to reap the benefits from it. And I was saying earlier, me and my guys, we're blazing the trail. And I tell them all the time, we're going to get our money, but we're going to show other people how to make 10 times more than what we ever could make. Our legacy is really going to be about the people that we help get to
right.
where they are, and that's fine. I'm good with that, because when I was a kid, when I was a kid, I always wanted to know like who that like, I was impressed by names like Andrew Carnegie because I wanted to know how he got Carnegie Hall and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
always was impressed with the historic names and stuff. And it's like, well, how did they get their name in the record books and how did they get their name on the building? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So, that's the type of thoughts and type of conversations that we have over here is
Right.
is is knowing that, we may not see it all in our life as far as the benefits of what it is that we're doing,
Hmm.
but someone else will, and that's our legacy.
Right. So is there a way to, well, I guess you would draw that up in wills and, have, something to pass down, from one generation to the other as time goes on and as it builds, and it'll morph into something else in the future that we won't ever see because
Right.
we'll be long gone. Right.
True.
So it's all about our kids.
Yep.
So,
You're right.
so,
And I'm a grandfather now, so
huh? Oh yeah.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Hey man, thanks, bro.
How does that feel?
Man, just amazing, bro. Amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like really, it just makes you want to put everything in perspective. It really does,
Yeah.
bro.
So boy, girl.
He's a boy. First
Wow.
grandson. Right.
So the name lives on.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
He's
that's
2 years
deep.
old now, so
And big,
he's
big
just not
shout out
getting
to your
started.
son and congratulations to him too.
Well, see, you said something earlier. My grandson is, he's going to live he lives in a different world. He's going to live a different life than what I had. But,
Mhm.
I hope to make it a little bit better based on the decisions that I'm making right now.
Right.
So that's part of it, is knowing that, when he becomes an adult, the things that I've done or things that his father's done, and things I've done to help his father get into a better place is going to, open up the opportunity for him to do anything he wants, anything he can imagine doing. And
Right.
that's kind of the world we're living in right now. Like the sky's the limit. I mean, our only limitations are our imagination
Right.
and reality. So it's just an amazing time to be alive. And I'm the perfect age of being able to relate and understand some of the younger guys, but then
Mhm.
relate and understand the mature people too. I get why they do what they do, and I can get kind of why the young guys kind of do what they do. It's an interesting time to be alive. I feel good being in my 40s and having, traveled around the world and touched a lot of different people and different things, man. Like it's been a interesting, wonderful journey. And to be Black and being in your 40s, man, that's an accomplishment on its own. A Black man in America.
Yeah. Well, I'm 50 now, so I'm about to.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, I made it. Yeah, I made it, and hopefully, I get at least 20 more years, and maybe live as long as my mom is living now.
Yeah.
So, and my father. So they're actually
That's up to you. That's up
Huh?
to you. That's up to you if you live that long. You got to take care of yourself.
It is, and and our mutual friend keeps telling me about it because I did gain some COVID weight, and I seem to be putting on some other weight after COVID weight.
Oh, so you got the extra COVID weight.
What I got? I don't know what I got. I used to
You got
be
the COVID 22 weight.
Exactly, and I never got. I was never. This is the first time I've ever been this heavy, man, ever. And I got to lose it because come June 24th on my birthday, before that, I got to jump out of an airplane because it's part of my bucket list. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm mentally preparing myself for it.
Okay, well, I'm with you, brother. I support you. You
on the ground, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. From the ground only. No, I don't think any Black man should jump out of a perfectly well performing airplane, on purpose.
Right.
But if that's what you want to do, more power.
That's exactly what I want to do. And you know what it is, and you're speaking to this because it's all about overcoming certain things that are blocking you in here.
Right.
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 And me on my journey right now, I don't know if I figured it out. I don't know if I figured out that secret. So you got into something that you knew nothing about, but you went full steam ahead and you seem to have a lot of success at it. So what did you have to unblock in order to get to where you are right now?
Fear.
Okay.
Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we've ever wanted in life is on the other side of fear. Everything.
Unpack that a little bit. Like
once I decided that I wasn't going to be afraid anymore, I wasn't afraid to fail. I wasn't afraid to be successful. I wasn't afraid of someone telling me no. I wasn't afraid of the results of yes. I realized that was when I realized that I could actually do something. And so as a musician and as an artist, fear is a driving force in a lot of cases.
Right.
Because your fear of rejection, fear of not making it, fear of so many different things. So fear was just such a driving force in my life. And then once you get over fear, the next thing was ego. Ego. Those two things right there.
Fear and ego.
They will derail the best of men and the best of women. And if you can have a conversation with yourself and you can look at the world and view the world through a lens of less ego, my goodness, my friend, that's when you're really cooking with hot grease.
Right.
So what I'm trying to tell you now is giving you the secret. The secret is to eliminate ego from the mix around everything, around your business relationships, around your relationships at home, around the business you do at your job or your career, around your relationship with your children, around your relationship with your God, whatever it is. Your ego go. And I guarantee you that's the blocking thing. Like in most cases for me, I think a lot. I'm a thinker. I spend a lot of time thinking.
Right.
And so I spent a lot of time thinking like why I hadn't really reached the level of success that I really wanted to get to. Like, and I've been close, man. Like I got like super rich friends and super rock star, like, best friends and stuff that tried to put me on. And I've done my thing now. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not regretting anything on my life.
Right.
But I can look back and I can see that the times that I didn't get where I needed to be, the reason for it was me. It was me.
Right.
It was my ego.
So
I literally looked through it. I looked at every opportunity in my life, and I said, "Why haven't I gotten where I'm supposed to be?" Right? And people look at me and they say, "Oh, I love your life. I travel all over the world, man. I'm out of here all over the time, right? I'm living. Okay, so I'm not hurting or anything, but man, there's way more that I could have accomplished.
Yeah.
And I know it. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that's ever held me back is because of his ego. Now, I have spent the last few years working on it. I've spent the last few years searching for the right answers and asking myself the right questions and searching. And part of the trip I just took to Egypt, it really kind of opened that whole thing up for me, you know, of being able to have that conversation with myself and saying, okay, this is what people can do when they have a vision and they have unlimited resources, you know, true ingenuity, you know, and I just like, you know what, I'm not going to be the reason my thinking, or it's not going to be the reason that I am not accomplishing what I want to accomplish. It's just not going to happen anymore. No, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
No. And, you know, and anybody that knows me, that really knows me, knows how I am and knows how I think. And I've been a guy that has been a pioneer my whole life, you know, of, you know, marketing shows or trying to do record companies and all that type of thing. I've always tried to figure out some way. I've always thought outside the box. So what I'm telling you is that a person that thought outside the box my entire life was still even struggling with needing to think outside the box. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm saying you have to really, really, really decide that you really want to transition into that next level and cycle higher.
Right.
Start manifesting into reality. It's like instantaneously. You think it, you say it, it happens.
Right.
But what's important that people understand is it's both positive and negative. So you got to change the way that you think, because that shit happens, man. Both positive and negative, it happens.
Right. So what would be step one to get on that path of just eliminating fear and ego? What is it? Something that someone has to do, say, believe? What is it?
Okay, well, I can just tell you what happened, what worked for me.
Okay.
It's really easy, and most everybody can tell you all the things they can do well. They can literally give you a list, write down, be like, oh, I do this good, I can do this good, but not too many of them can give you a list of the things they do bad. The first thing you got to do is look in the mirror and have that long conversation with yourself and do some real self-evaluation and be honest with yourself, right? And then you can start itemizing this list of the things that you need to do in order to become a better person, so that you can become a better father, a better man, a better business person, all these different things. You got these ideas that you want to be, this idea of person, a person that you want to be, the same person that you post on Instagram that you want to be.
Right.
You know, actually being that person that you're projecting on social media into the world, the person that you want to be. You can actually start becoming that person when you're honest with yourself. You know, that's the first thing. You got to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, all right, well, and I had a list of things, right? And, you know, like now my house is meticulous, right? You know, I'm super organized. You know, I got everything. I got all my, you know, my shoes in line. I got all my clothes in line. And I was a notoriously messy guy when I was a kid, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I realized that there's no way I could be the person that I wanted to be if I lived in this messy shithole of a house, or you know, like I had to be clean and organized if I wanted my life to be clean and organized.
Right.
You know, like, that was the first thing I realized. It was like, okay, well, I got to start living like how I want it to be.
Right.
You know, and I just started taking one thing off the list, one thing off the list, one at a time.
Right.
One at a time.
And because of this microwave society that we live in, everybody wants everything like right now. And
instant gratification, man.
Yeah.
Instant gratification. That's not how it works.
Right.
You
said something. You said not being afraid of the result of yes.
Yes.
What the heck does that mean? Tell me.
Because success can be just as damaging as failure. That's why.
Right.
Because success can be just as damaging as failure.
Right.
You know, and you need to be able to be balanced. I'm a Libra, Virgo, Libra, burn on the cusp, but I'm more Libra. So I'm always in the balance of things. Everything in my house is duality. The mural on the wall here is duality, black and white. I live in the gray of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, because, you know, that's just how I think. So, you know, it's just got to balance it out, man. You know, I mean, even too much, you know, applause and too much, gratification is not healthy for any particular person, because you start living in a reality of a world where, you know, people will change the way they think about you in any second based on what it is that you bring to the table. And especially as a man, you know, I
Right.
mean, come on. We're only as valuable as what we bring to the table. I mean, come on. The
Right.
second that you don't bring home that check,
Mm-hmm.
okay, your value is going to decrease a whole lot. And you may
Yep.
not be able to keep that house you in, and you may not be able to keep your wife that you have, because we men are based on what we bring to the table. Okay.
Right.
I think Chris Rock said that. He said that women and babies are the only thing love, and dogs, only thing love unconditionally. Men
Right.
are not.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right about that.
We're not.
You're pure facts.
We are not. Straight up.
So you're dropping a lot of knowledge, and I hope the listeners are actually getting it. And I got my cousin on there too, and I saw some other people on there too. So I hope they're actually getting it. And I know people are gonna want to, get in touch with you.
Sure.
How is that possible?
I think the easiest way is going to be Instagram.
Okay.
That's the easiest way. You can hit me there. It's my name, Caron_Marcelous. You can leave me a message there. All of my business accounts are there. True Deliveries is there. So that's the best way. Or
Right.
you can hit me up hit me up in an email. You can send me an email at caronmarcelous@truedeliveries.com.
Right.
And I love to listen to anybody. Love to talk to brothers. Anybody that wants to collaborate on business opportunities. Right now, I'm giving it's all free game. Anybody that has any questions, I'm ready to answer any questions. Any resources that I have, I'm willing to give them, because the idea right now is for us to have more brothers doing this game. And then, if we all got money, we all got something going on, then, what I'm saying, we never run out of resources in that scenario. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the power move right there, man.
So you give me book vibes, man. I feel a book coming on. Is that something that's in the future? What's in the future for you, man?
Man, it's funny. Right now, we're focusing on getting the television show going.
Yep.
I'm hoping that what we're talking about right now is compelling enough to carry a television show. That's what this is kind of like a gauge when you'll get to talk to some of the viewers, and maybe they can tell you what they think, whether or not it's something that somebody might want to listen to and talk about.
Right.
And then, I have aspirations for doing a lot of things out of the country. I'm going to Morocco in about a month to explore opportunities there.
Right.
I'm looking into the global markets right now, because I know the future of cannabis is import export throughout in the worldwide network. So who knows, man? Maybe we can do a book. Maybe me and you'll be doing a book together. Who knows?
I'm down. But
with
look,
you,
we'll do a book, and then we'll do a book tour, and then they'll make a movie out of it.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
My
But I need my beats first, though, man.
I got you.
Can I get my beats first?
I called you last week to talk about it, because
Okay,
because I got the clips, so I'm ready to work.
Yeah, let me get some beats,
work.
man. Let me get some beats. I need to get some beats, man.
I got you. I'm ready to work, man. A good friend of mine, actually, he could give us some tips. Actually, he's a high school buddy. His name is he just came out with something too, another book, but he's the author of Ford versus Ferrari, and they made a movie out of that. AJ Bain, that's my high school buddy.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's doing very well for himself.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I was surprised to see he had a book out before that. I think it was about President Truman or something like that. And I was surprised to see his name on that book. I was like, wait, that's AJ. I was like,
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's real dope right there.
So the people are doing things, and I'm never a hater of anybody who's trying to do better than what they did the day before. And I'm always trying to promote and always trying to uplift, and if there's a way I can reach back and help somebody up past me, then I'm doing it.
It's part of your legacy, though, right?
Exactly.
It's part of the legacy.
And a lot of people don't know this, if you're a musician, producer, songwriter, when you copyright your songs, you can actually pass down that copyright right there on the form. It's called the inheritance. So if you go, one of the questions is, who's going to get it after you, or who's it going to be assigned to? You could actually pass it down as an inheritance. So as of lately, I've been copywriting stuff not just under me, but to my daughter.
Yeah, that's
So
dope.
when
That's
I
dope.
die, she has a claim to whatever music that becomes popular and people are actually getting paid off of.
Right.
So, and all that stuff, the numbers and stuff like that, I'll put it in a lockbox, send it over to her. She'll keep it for life, pass it to her children. And that's what it's all
Generational
about.
wealth, man.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Um, I usually do these things for an hour. I think we're coming up on that hour right now. I don't
Okay.
want to hold you up because I know you're a busy man and it's still kind of early out there. And I think you still got daylight, right?
Yeah, we still got a little daylight out right out the window there.
So when you go, oh, wow, look at that. And wait.
What's up?
I know it's not about ego, but spin that camera around,
All
man.
right, all right. Real quick,
Spin
show
that
you
camera
the
around.
view.
Look at this guy's crib. Look at this. This is where's that table? Where's that table?
Oh, it's right there. It's got
So look,
Superfly on. Let me put some music on real quick.
this dude has like a conference room style table in his living room. And tell me how this came about. How did you had that custom made, right?
So this is one of one actually. Me and my homeboy that I got a business with in Colombia are putting together manufacturing these tables. They're smart tables basically. So
Right.
it's basically anything you can do with your laptop, you can do with this table. So I can stream videos, I can stream TV, I can do Zoom calls, I can plug in PlayStations and all that. And so the new one's got charging consoles on them, so you can put your iPhone on and charge, plug your Xbox into it and play video games on it. So it's going to hit the market at the end of the year too. So it's another little thing that I'm messing around with.
Right. So are you a major investor in that company?
I am. We're partners. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
So I gotta wait for it to hit the market. If you want to send me a test table, man, if you want me to check it out or whatever,
Okay. All right.
make sure it's black so my wife can agree with it.
Okay.
So
It's got to be in the black mold. No problem.
it has to be black. Yeah.
I got you.
We got great furniture. So
put it in your. You put it right in your. Put it in your man cave.
Well, I got the B room here, so I don't know if there's much room, but I can move a thing or two just to have that table. That's dope.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Listen, man, I don't know when you coming to Florida next.
I'm going to be coming probably in the next few months. I got to see my grandson, man, and I got to see my father. So definitely want to catch up with you, see Eric, and get some good Southern cooking. What I mean? That's important. I need that. I need that soul food in my life.
If you're here in July, my boy DJ OS is having his Fleet DJs conference down here.
Really?
Yeah, this is in July. I'll give you the exact dates. But
make myself available, man. That sounds like that'll be fun.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with him because I haven't seen him in years. Okay. So he's going to be coming down here. Last year, I think he brought Tisha Campbell, a whole bunch of DJs, conferences all around, Jacksonville. First time they ever did it, and they're going to do it again this year. So if you come around July, I'll give you the exact dates, and I'll be promoting.
Yeah, man, let me know. I'll come in town.
Yeah. But, man, I can't thank you enough for doing this. It's definitely enlightening. I always get some type of education every time I talk to you. Yeah. Like it just happens, right?
Hey man, that's what we do, man. I wouldn't be a good friend if I wasn't doing something to help you move forward, and same vice versa, right?
Right. And I think the last time I saw you, you cooked an amazing salmon with some asparagus at the house.
That's right.
Delicious.
Right. Be throwing down, man. And it's been a minute since I've seen you, man. Dang, man, we need to link up, bro. For real.
I know. That's been a minute too.
Yeah, it's been.
But I remember the salmon. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the good stuff.
Yeah, man. But bro, thank you for being here and speaking with me on this platform. Like I said, with the real estate and the music, I could bring worlds together. Just by reaching out to friends.
Right.
So there's more to come on this platform, and then I hope to make it grow as much as I possibly can, while still slinging some houses and making some beats. And that's what it's all about.
That's what
Right?
it's all about.
Yes, sir. Caron, I'm going to talk to you offline. But thank you. And that concludes our episode for tonight with Mr. Caron Marcelous. He gave you his information to reach out to him. Reach out to him. He really means it. He's a very genuine person, and he means what he says. So if he wants to help, he's going to help. So next time, I'll be doing an announcement for the next show, and I'm going to bring DJ OS. He's coming. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace.